Hello, I'm Ruby Ant Flemma, and in today's video, I'll be showing off my Resident Evil Chris Redfield build in Payday 2. First off, we'll be going with mask. For the mask, I chose the tiara because it just better shows off the face, because Chris doesn't really wear anything for a mask. For armor, I went with improved combined tactical vest, due to Chris's own resilience throughout the games, especially making it this far throughout the entirety of Resident Evil. For clothing, I went with a casual formal, mainly because in Resident Evil 8 Village, Bro is kind of dressed like a villain, and that matches what Bro's fit is in that game. As for equipment, I brought the ammo bag. The ammo bag just felt best due to how prepared Chris is for various engagements, especially in RE8. The fist for his melee, which I'm pretty sure it's obvious for Resident Evil 5, Chris Redfield punching a freaking boulder. Throwable, I decided just to bring the laser chronometer, mainly because just really big rhyme or reason. I just like it. It's completely interchangeable. As for weapons, the secondary would be the rocket launcher, mainly because Chris has been seen using various explosive weapons throughout the games, from grenade launchers to the commando rocket launcher, but I felt like a nice basic rocket launcher of the RPG would be nice. Also, it makes taking down dozers incredibly easy. Next would be his weapon. In Resident Evil 8 Village, he uses a type of AK-styled rifle, which I'm unsure what AK-74 it is, but the closest one I could go with was the AK-17 rifle. Next, I'll be taking you over to Epic, who will be able to explain better than I can the muscle perk deck.
Alright, let's cut to the chase. You just become that boulder punching asshole, but what does muscle actually do? Well, you become thick as fuck. The perk deck doubles your base HP value, and comes with two big mechanics. The first big one is you're likely to be targeted by cops, which is the opposite of basic optical illusions. So while this is kind of a good thing, it depends on exactly what you're doing, because as well, in practice is really good because you can take pressure off of your allies. Due to how slow the second mechanic works, it's not ideal to be drawing more attention from cops on average. And the second big one is panic. Now, this is a mechanic that's shared with Sociopath, and the basic principle is killing a cop will cause cops in the vicinity to begin panicking, which will make them stop firing at you and cower in fear. It's similar to how Threat ends up working in some applications, but does have the outward bonus of making cops more likely just to stop shooting at you, which does mean, on average, you're going to be doing a lot better. Well, we come to the weakest part of the deck, in my opinion. While you have the chunkiest HP in the game, you regenerate it at a glacial pace. 3% and every 5 seconds is not an ideal pace, especially since it matches if is not kind of weaker than Hostage Taker Aced, which is not a great show, because that's just not a great perk in itself. But it has the benefit of comboing with jokers, which help take more attention off you. Remember, the whole gimmick of muscle is to be as in the thick of it as possible. It's just in general, and besides the obvious downsides of being the center of attention, and I personally feel that muscle does not offer enough to be better on higher difficulties. Especially since X-Presence and Grinder, while suffering from similar problems, have just better qualities that keep them consistently usable. Even if Grinder doesn't give you dodge like X-Presence does, it doesn't mandate you to be either passive or have your armor get broken, which is definitely a bigger bonus. And as well, you can regenerate your HP lickety-split and get the same HP value. It offers you a free choice on how you build your perks, which allows you just to do the funny bit of 800-pound gorilla plus ICTV, which is honestly a kind of effective combination because you just won't take a lot of HP damage if you have a ton of armor, but as described in the Anarchist video of Hunk, it's not necessarily that simple on higher difficulties. Having chunk armor and chunk health values help, but they don't really make or break builds. It's how much damage you can output and how much you're able to actually do in the open before you get gunned down, because death sentence cops are just built different. It's just like, it is what it is. There's no real value, and it's just kind of, yet again, come down to the ultimate problem of when you get up to that death sentence area, it's where a lot of builds just begin to falter, just because you don't really have as many good options. It's why Rogue is the king of the high difficulties. You see so many dodge decks just because building into dodge is just, on average, better. It's because crit builds are just that powerful. Taking out cops fast is better than having more effective HP but not being able to take them out as quickly. And that's like the big thing that ends up mattering more often than not, is just being able to take out cops quickly. Anyway, on the practical matter of how the build is, I don't have a lot of notes. The AK-17 is just a fine-ass rifle, especially the way Ant has it modified, and the RPG, as aforementioned, can one-shot bulldozers, so there's not a lot to talk about there. The only thing I will say is the RPG comes with the very, very real chance of just completely fucking your teammates up, because friendly fire with explosives is a real thing. Honestly, think muscle kind of pales in comparison to some of the other perk decks. I bring up Ex-Presidents and Grinder specifically because they do service more or less the same principle. It's just Grinder requires you to wear a suit, and Ex-President gets less effective as you get chunkier armor, which is an understandable downside. Again, it's just my personal preference, because on average I like running run-and-gun builds, and I really like Ex-Presidents. It was my first big perk deck choice, and I have a unhealthy bias towards it. Same with Grinder. I just really like Grinder. But honestly, 3% is better than nothing, so take that as you will, because as much as I like Anarchist, I do have to admit, being as frail as a hostage does have its negatives. Anyway, I'll let the gameplay take it from here. Yeah, this has been a very basic explanation of the ups and downs and alternative options you can do, but honestly, I think in general, just pick what you want to play with. Especially if you're playing on, Mayhem or Overkill, there's not really much of a point to be like, well, here's the most effective way to do it, because at that point, really, who the fuck cares? Like, genuinely. Yeah, at such a low difficulty, it doesn't really matter. I love running Maniac, and objectively speaking, Maniac sucks. It's really bad. So, just remember that. Run what you want, and remember, this is just a fun build. It's not any deeper than that.